I think Navajo language is very important. I think if the Navajo language goes, there goes our culture, our history. I think that's what makes us unique.
I just want people to know that he was here and he made a difference. I go around the community, everybody knows who I am because I am. They all have a great respect for him.
I want to perpetuate and prolong and make the Navajo language, last. I don't know how long. Tony in Schle. Sanjukin Schle. Not often net hatching, but she's tkutsam that she shaking and that she nole. At any nest shigran. White Cone, Arizona, that I see Nasha. In a college nations. I live here in Shiprock and I'm originally from White Cone, Arizona. And I work here and at the college. I guess I can claim that maybe the only instructor that have 4 generations of students. When I came here, my wife took my class. And then my mother-in-law took my class. And then my daughter took my class and my granddaughter took my class. So the 4 generations.
And I thought, I haven't really signed up for a class. Let me find out, see what it's like being in his classroom. And that's where the true color came out. I took his classes. Oh my gosh. It was hard. We got our final exam. Guess what I got? F. I got an F. And I said, wow. And I went up marching to, you give me this? And he says, yeah, I'm not gonna favor you even though you're my wife. You gonna get what you get. I thought, remember, he's your teacher, you're the student you respect.
At a very early age, my dad taught me things that earlier I said 11 way. If I don't obey that, then maybe a second thing is he has his whip there to make me do it. And he taught me to observe things. He says, that one day he says, he was doing something, I was standing there, he says, where are your sheep? Where's the sheep? And I got up and ran out and looked around and they're on the hill. So Dad, they're up here on the hill. Then he says, where's your donkey? So I ran back out and looked around and said, over here. Where's your brother? Where's your sister? Where's your mom? He said, be aware of things around you and how they are. Be aware of your neighbor. See if they're well, see if they're in good health. And if they need help, go out there and roll your sleeve up and help them. Even with just by talking to them and discussing things and work it out that way. It doesn't have to be with hands and tools and, just maybe help them think.
When we were little, he would write on index cards and draw a picture for us, and he would tape it to everything for us. And he's doing that now for my granddaughter. So he kept after us and kind of spoke to us like he did his own father did with him. We had to learn by doing.
To talk about it, to talk about relocation. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to talk about it. It's just too much, It's just affected everything of our lives, My grandmother ended on that side of the fence. Said, stay on our land. This is our land. That's what she said. She says, don't move. Maybe. So we buried our grandma on that side, and I see the white people, they say, I was born in New Jersey, but now I live in California. I'm going to be moving over here. See that home is where they are. But in Navajo, it's different. Your land, where you're born, that's where your root is. Just got emotional. And the things that we did there, the things, growing up, I know that every family felt that way. They don't want to leave. Home in Navajo, that is you. For every Navajo, when they leave this reservation to go to college, to live in San Francisco or wherever, eventually they come back. This is home. My grandpa, my dad, when they talk about religion, it's something that's a side over there, and it's mostly for healing, it seems to me. And he told me that day about religion, maybe from the Bible. And I just listened. And, maybe the last day before he left, when he was still out in the field, he told me a little more, and he prayed for me again. He prayed, and he was bilingual because he went to school. And he says, I want him to learn about you. I want him to understand you. And that was it. He said, pray this way every day. So that, I guess it stuck with me. I couldn't take it out of my mind. So I want to know. And so I prayed that, how he prayed, I prayed that all through maybe my school year, and as an answer to the prayer, but I think I talk about when I first went to the school. And going to the county fair, my drunk uncle came and says, what are you doing here? You should be in school. And so he said, I know about a good school out here. It's about 3 or 4 miles out of town. So he took us out there, and the principal said it's full. Because they turned away, I think, three young boys. And we got, talked to him and told the principal, that my boys here, my sons, that's how he addressed the principal. They can sleep anywhere. They can sleep on the sheepskin at home. Says if you make room for them over here in the corner, they probably sleep there. So eventually he talked him into us staying. And I was about 17 or 18 years old. Gave me a test, and I guess I tested into 6th grade. Says, I know you're older, but what do you think? I said, it's okay with me. I think they will give me the foundation, that I didn't get at the Indian school, boarding school. So I started there. So when I was in the military, I used that to observe and listen. Coming from a sheep herder, trying to be a cowboy, from that background into the medical field, which I didn't know anything about. So I look at things and say, they might make me do things, and there's some things that I should know that I have question on. I saw the doctor suturing, and that I took a closer look at what he was doing. This one doctor I remember did things very, very. He must have been a teacher because he explained everything. I would listen to him, and so I said, I better learn how to do that. One night we were on together, this young Spanish young man. I think transferred from either Korea or Germany into our company. And he had a stripe. I think he was a sergeant. And I didn't have anything on my stripe. Anyway, we're on midnight graveyard shift, and I brought in a drunk soldier, picked up the phone, called him, medical officer of the day, and as soon as he put the phone down, he started crying. He said, "This is how they work," he says. As he was wiping his tear and crying, he says, they try to make you do things that you don't know how, and then they take your stripe away. He said, "Go ahead and suture him up." Well, I've been practicing. I said, "Sanchez, I know how to do it. I'll show you." And he looked at me and looked at my stripe, nothing. And he says, I think he started crying louder. I don't know. But anyway, I said, I'll show you how. So we took out the kit and put it right there and put on our glove and said, "You put yours on, I'll show you." I put the tie and clip it off. I said, "It's your turn. I want to do this so at least you can say you did this." So we did one, I think we did 2 or 3 more. He was there in the morning, the doctor came, looked at it, "Hey, it's good job," and he just signed it, and that was it. Well, it was several more months later, and he says, "Come to the office." And he's standing head, and he click his heel, and he says, "Maybe that's never done before." He said, "But I want to salute a private." So we salute each other, and afterward he says, "Thank you." He says, "To me, you saved my stripe." You know, when I was in the military, I have these different ethnic groups coming together and being together, and sometimes someone says, "How do you say hello in your language?" And then they say, "How do you spell that?" And then they ask another guy, and they come to me, say, "Yat eh?" It means this. Verbal example of maybe taking a bow. And then they say, "How do you spell it?" I say, "I don't know." So when I came back, the college, the next college at that time was Navajo Community College. So I said, "I want to learn Navajo. I want to learn how to silversmith. I know how to read and write." So when I was asked to teach Navajo language, hey, there's my chance, what I wanted to do. By the way, I learned to make things out of metal. I can make a lot of money at doing that. To serve others, to serve my people, maybe I need to become a teacher. So I kind of let that go. When they say Navajo culture, a lot of the Christian kind of backs away and say, that's not part of who we are. I think the culture is there that the Navajo brought, and so I think so when they say culture, the Christian back up and say, we're not about medicine man. It's not about medicine man. Maybe teaching is try to help, maybe prolong, perpetuate Navajo language. That I teach it in a way that my student will be, learn enough to teach their children. That's, I think Navajo language is the vehicle that, carry the culture, because it's the language, carry on the song and the prayers and in the history. And I somehow need to maybe think that we at the next college, should work harder and to revive it and make it stronger.
Once he leaves, that's it. I don't think very many can instill that in others. I mean, he tries to pass it on. He's very knowledgeable and he's a gem.
What I've learned the most about him is that he's such a humble person, and I live my life, and I'm happy with him.
And I'm really happy that he is my dad.
To me, education, if it happened in my community, is very important to me. That that they can benefit from maybe what I know. And I know I'm way past retirement. Maybe several months ago, they offered me the contract again for next fall. I just signed it because of what I just said. Maybe in part or share what I know.
حالا نشد چه دیش چه گیتانه ناشنه ترابک اکو نجانه کو یشال حالا نشد چه تانا تا دست